Welcome back to the program, and we have some breaking news for you this morning. Alan Bakke's case decision has been announced by the Supreme Court.
For those of you who don't keep up with what's going on, the Supreme Court has been on this case for the past year and a half. After Alan Bakke filed a suit against the University of California at Davis, claiming that the admissions program violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, as well as Title V of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yes, the university had implemented a special program in the early 1970s. Their hope was that this new program would increase the representation of disadvantaged or minority students at the school. On the application form, potential students had the opportunity to check if they were a member of the minority group.
These groups included blacks, Chicanos, American Indians, and Asians. They could also say if they were economically or educationally disadvantaged when applying to the school. If you checked any of these, you would be sent to the Special Admissions Committee where the applicants were screened to see if they fit a certain criteria for disadvantaged students. They did not have to meet the 2.5 grade average cutoff and were compared to the regular admission students. Out of the 100 spots admitted every year for the medical program, 16 spots were set aside for those special students.
So our good friend Alan Bakke applied for this program not once, but twice in 1973 and 1974. He was rejected both times, and he received his, second time he received his rejection. He had enough. He took this case to the Superior Court of Yolo County, California, hoping that school would hear his case and let him be admitted.
Here's the thing, from 1971 to 1974, the special program admitted 21 black students, 31 Mexican Americans, and 12 Asians. While doing the same period, this regular admissions program admitted 1 black student, 6 Mexican Americans, and 37 Asians. No white students, even if they claimed they were educationally or economically disadvantaged. We were admitted by the special program. 272 of them tried and were rejected from the special admissions program.
All the while, Alan Bakke was being rejected while the students in the special program were being accepted, even though their scores were lower than Bakke's were.
You might be asking yourself, is Bakke really more qualified than the ones who got in a special way? Let me run some numbers by you. Bakke graduated from the University of Minnesota with a GPA of 3.51, then joined the military for 4 years before his work as an engineer at NASA.
He already sounds impressive. Bakke received a 468 points out of 500 points possible on the admissions rating scale in 1973. Earlier that year, he had a science GPA of 3.44 and then a total GPA of 3.46 after attending some night classes that would qualify him for any medical school.
On the medical college admissions test, also known as MCAT, Bakke scored a 472, while the average at University of California is a 469. I mean, those scores are incredibly high and seem to be good enough to get into med school. Before we go any further with the case's final decision, let's go over where we interviewed another white student who applied and was rejected the same year as Bakke.
Hi, I'm here with Joshua Davis. He was rejected from the University of California the same year as Alan Bakke.
Hi, yes, that was a hard letdown for me. After working so hard at Johns Hopkins University, I was sure I was going to get in. I had a GPA of 3.71 after graduating. My MCAT score was a 480, putting me well above average.
Do you think you would have gotten in if the special program had not been put in place?
I hate to say that I would, because I know that people work hard, and I'll never know what would have happened. However, you have to understand that's 16 spots being taken up by people who have scored significantly lower than me, as well as most everyone in the regular admissions program.
So you don't think this special program is fair?
Of course not. I believe that you should base admissions on scores and grades, not on skin color. I've worked for years leading up to this, and to be rejected when I know there are 16 people going to this school with worse grades than me.
So you think what Alan Bakke is doing is important?
I'm glad he said something when he did. If not him, I'm sure someone else would have said this. This is important to me and everyone else who was rejected due to skin color. If you work hard and get better grades than someone else, I don't care who you are, you deserve to get in before them, and that's fine.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Is there anything else you'd like to add with your fine self?
I'm super excited to see what happens with this case, and I hope it's good for me and everyone else who has been in our shoes.
So, back to the case. The case was divided. For agreeing with Bakke that the university's affirmative action strategy violated the Title V and the 14th Amendment, they agreed that it put a limit on the number of white students who could be admitted to the school, and that was borderline racist.
The other 4 argued that could slide. They said that there was no way there could be a racially neutral way to accept students and have it be successful. This is a 4-by-4 split, left the decision up to Justice Powell, that poor guy.
Powell concluded that you could use race as a factor of admissions, but you could not use quotas. He went on to say that the only real justification for affirmative action are the educational benefits of having a diverse student body.
Although the decision in the end was a 5-by-4, saying this was unconstitutional, race can still be a factor in admissions as long as quotas are not set. This is Mallory.
And Bree, Channel 7 signing off.